Well, good evening and welcome along to another issue of Under the Surface, and you join me here again on a glorious evening, and it's the 1st of July, it's about 7:30 and I'm back on Pocklington Canal. And although I've been fishing for the pike the last couple of weeks on here, I've been keeping an eye on the roach and the coarse fish species, and trying to find out whereabouts they are, really. Obviously predominantly to try and track down where the pike are more likely to be, but while I've been down and fly fishing, I've seen some really nice looking roach, and quite a lot of them as well. In some areas I've seen fish to what look to be getting on for about £2, and not just one, maybe it's half a dozen in a shoal, which is really exciting. Although it's not really my sort of main branch of fishing, I do enjoy coarse fishing of all species, really, and a £2 roach is something pretty special. So especially on a wild water like this, where they've been wild reared on, so they're not being stocked or anything, they're what nature's provided. So I'm going to give it a go tonight, and as always on here I'm travelling very light. I've got my rod there with my small Mitchell reel fitted with £5 line, and just a stranded crystal waggler. Got my big net because I haven't got another smaller net, so if I do catch anything, hopefully I won't miss it with that thing. I've got my my backpack and my unhooking mat, and a bag full of bits and bobs, my big camera and scales in case I do get a big fish. And the bait I'm going to be using tonight is casters. There are a few maggots in there, but I've deliberately left them for a couple of days just to harden and crystallise, crystallise if that's a word, and yeah, so I'm going to give that a go. I've just thrown a few in, and that's what you saw at the beginning of the footage. There was a couple of fish coming up. There's one just over there. So yeah, I'm going to give it a bash tonight, a couple of hours, hopefully get a few nice roach on the bank. So here's the rig, and it's a 1 or 2 BB, I think it is, crystal waggler. It's a 2 BB, and I've got a few shot on there, not many, and I'm going to be fishing right underneath the surface here, because these fish are right down. And what I've done is, it's difficult to zoom in on this camera, so apologies, I'll try and get, that's better. And I've buried the hook in a single caster. It's a size 14 hook, which sounds quite large, but these fish aren't really fished for, so if I can get away with it without going too fine, I'll use a size 14, and if I'm getting some finicky bites and not quite hooking up, I'll go down to a size 16, 18. I've even got to 20s, but preferably try not to go down too low with that. So I'm sat down low, sat on my mat, not got a chair, I'm not clanking around, I'm sat well behind some cover, and I'm going to feed that area for a little bit longer yet, and getting really confident on these casters, and then hopefully get a bait in and try and sort out some good fish. And here you go, it's a beautiful fish, first one of the night, about 5-6 ounces. There's loads of them out there, so I'm going to slip this one back and get into a few more. Well, judging by that big lump of bubbles there and the big eruption that's just happened, I think I've just had a pike come through my swim. Which is most inconvenient because I'm not fishing for him tonight. I've been baiting up, I've not been getting many bites, so I find down to a size 20 hook and a £4 hook link of about 6 inches long. I've been getting fish still topping, but it looks like something's just been completely munched there. So we'll see if I can carry on and get something, but it might be a change of plan, I think, and a move to a different spot away from these pesky pike. Typical, isn't it? The night you don't want to come and catch them, and they're all over. Never mind though, at least it's nice to be out on the bank. Well, as you can no doubt gather, I've moved swims now to a different section. That pike seems to have put paid to that swim, unfortunately, but I can't complain too much because I do enjoy catching the pike as much as I do the roach. So I've come down to this section where I spotted a couple of really big roach yesterday, and what I'm doing is every 15 seconds or so I'm just throwing some casters in. You can see I've just just popped him in there. I've been doing that for about 15 minutes in this swim. I've also just put a bit of mashed bread in another swim, and there's roach on top of that, so I want to feed for another 5 or 6 minutes and have a cast and see if one of these really big roach wants to come along. If I don't get anything here within about 10 or 15 minutes, I'll move to the other swim and put some mashed bread in here and let them just have a free feed and come back. It's about 9:15 now, so I've got maybe it's about an hour of light left before it gets too difficult to see the float. It's a good time to catch roach at twilight, so fingers crossed one of these big ones comes along. It'd be lovely to get a big 2-pounder on the bank with the camera. Here's an important tip for you as well. You'll notice I'm well back from where I'm actually fishing. I'm not near the edge. I'm down in amongst the undergrowth. It's real jungle warfare fishing. And these fish have never really been fished for, so they're bound to be a bit spooked by people coming down this close to the water's edge. So keep well back and be stealthy, and hopefully the bites will ensue. Well, there's another thin perfect roach for you, about the same size as the few I've had so far tonight, about 5 or 6 ounces. And it's important to point out as well that I've not been casting the float where I've been throwing the bait in. I've been casting it beyond it and drawing it back into the swim, and that's been resulting in bites, but they've been like lightning tonight to try and strike. So I'm going to slip this one back and try and get a few more out. Well, the light's fading fast now, and I've just had this one. It's probably about £1, and it's an absolutely cracking example of the quality of fish in Pocklington Canal. He's a lively one, so I'm going to just quickly show you for one last time, and I'm going to slip him back. It's probably about it for the filming tonight, I'm afraid, because it's just getting too dark, but it's been a pleasure to have you out on the bank again. Hope I've taught you a couple of things, and hope to see you out on the bank again soon.